Welcome to Raw Talk. Link down below as always in the description box. The credit WWE. So the show opened up with Drew McIntyre, and again, I keep going on about this kind of stuff. He was shaking hands with the fans, and the crowd was actually cheering for him. I still don't know what is going on because technically he's only going after people that wronged him, and that's regardless of whether or not they're a heel or a face, and I really do enjoy that dynamic now that we're seeing it played out week after week. He's not just randomly going after random people. So I kind of like the whole revenge path that he's on. It's quite interesting. And then we had Drew versus Sami Zayn, and Drew won. And as always, it was a great match. I mean, it sounds very generic a lot of times when I make these videos. I'm always like, yeah, it was a pretty good match. Because generally, for the most part, it's very rare for me to be like, ooh, what the heck was that? It happens sometimes at some PLEs, but I do find on the Raws and SmackDowns, just like the general matches that you'll see, they tend to be, at best, like pretty decent. They tend to be pretty solid and stuff, at least I think. So yeah, really did enjoy this. Like I said, it's a lot better than, now hold on, it's a lot better than wrestling in the 80s when you were watching the regular show where it was always like a big superstar like Drew McIntyre, let's say, of the 80s, and you would get basically a local talent. So like Razor Ramon versus a local talent. You wouldn't often see Razor Ramon versus Bret the Hitman Hart on the main show. You just, it didn't really happen. So for me, I still look back to those days and I'm like, you know what? All of these matches are pretty decent because they're all high caliber superstars. Then we had backstage, we had, what helps if I look here? Oh yeah, Byron Saxton, Zoe, and Shayna. Basically talking about Shayna's match with Nia Jax. Byron Saxton, I have to admit, and some people might joke and be like, oh, I don't know about that. I actually missed the guy on commentary. I do prefer him over Kevin Patrick. I really do. It's nothing against Kevin Patrick. It's all about that personality type. There could be people listening to me going, dude, you're so fucking annoying. And the odd time someone that's like, oh my God, I love watching your videos. You can't please everybody. So give me Byron Saxton. Anyhow, then we had a Jey Uso vignette promo about thinking about he was done with wrestling until Cody Rhodes brought him back. And he was really happy, and he's basically just going on talking about his match with Seth Rollins, how he really wants to capitalize on the opportunity to win the WWE Championship. So he's had Seth and he's had Roman. So he's been in some pretty high caliber matches, and I'm really enjoying that. And I sometimes wonder how Jimmy Uso in real life is handling the fact that he's not main event Jimmy Uso. It's main event Jey Uso, right? So this match was pretty good. I know that I shit on Nia all the time just because I don't like her as a character. It has nothing to do with her as a person. I don't know her as a person. But to me, I was just hoping to see Shayna get the upper hand here, but didn't. And again, you know, like her or not, I mean, she's like, there's no nice way of saying it. She's like the earthquake from back in the day, just big, nothing really overly fancy, is billed as being able to take a lot of hits and give some devastating moves and just take out the competition. But I do find Shayna to be a much better all-around fighter, but you can't always have her win every single match either. It's still decent. So that's what happened there with Nia winning, and then Becky came out momentarily, and then of course Nia walked away, which again doesn't do much for promoting that she's this big badass that doesn't back down from anybody, right? There was a CM Punk vignette. Will he sign with SmackDown or Raw? We saw Randy Orton last week sign with SmackDown. I have a feeling Punk's going to go to Raw, but he didn't show up on this week's Monday Night Raw, but he is going to be at SmackDown. So it's going to be interesting to see what goes on with that. And then backstage, DIY and Imperium kind of ran into each other. And then Ludwig tells Giovanni, yeah, make sure you have it together. And then Gio, the smartass, is like, Yeah, the same can be said about you, because he's talking a little bit more now. He found a tongue that the cat took from him. And basically, we had DIY and Imperium. 2 out of 3 falls. This was a really, really good match. Like, these guys are so, so good. And I truly feel like Giovanni is underappreciated. A guy can really wrestle. But they lost. It's going to be interesting to see next week what Gunther has to say about that, because he didn't say anything this week about them losing the match. And then backstage, Tegan and Natalya run into Chelsea and Piper Niven. They just kind of talk some smack and whatnot. And, uh-oh. Did I forget to write it down? No, I didn't. Sorry. So, yeah. So, they were just talking about that. Natalya's been, like, around a lot lately, like, getting into a lot of matches. She's just, no offense, been, losing them all. But that's not her fault, right? And backstage, oh, yeah, there was the Creed brothers that were squatting the New Day. Definitely not Biggie. And Alpha Academy kind of comes in, joins the conversation. It was pretty funny. Then we had Tozawa that was still there. And then, what's his name? It doesn't matter. I can't think off the top of my... I am so tired and I have a headache. Chad Gable had Maxine Dupree squat Tozawa. It was just really funny to see. I thought her quads were going to pop. I mean, thank God Tozawa was a small dude. But yeah. Oh, and then backstage, R-Truth with the Judgment Day. Again, you can watch all these videos right here. Like, all the highlights are there. It was just so freaking funny. Like, I can't even... Hopefully, when you watch this, you've already seen the show. It's just a recap. But like I said before, there are a couple of people that do watch me, don't watch the show, but they like to tune in with the highlights. And I unfortunately can't show them, but if you come here, it's like right at the top. It is just, man, R-Truth is amazing. I love that guy. And I get to interact with him on X or Twitter. I'm still calling it Twitter because the URL is twitter.com. God damn it. Katana Chance and Caden Carter versus Tegan Nox and Natalya. Bit of a weird team for me to still get used to. But Caden and Katana won, thank God, because they are just on another level. Like, they are so good. I'm really, really impressed with them. They're probably one of my favorite women's tag team of all time. Just so good. Unreal. This was a great match. Really enjoyed this one. Then we had the Shinsuke Nakamura vignette again because Cody Rhodes came out for a promo. Great as always. At least for me, it was great. And of course, Shinsuke comes out with the Japanese, or not the Japanese, English subtitles because he's speaking Japanese, and he didn't attack him this time. We actually did not see Shinsuke Nakamura this week. We also didn't see Finn Balor or Mommy Rhea Ripley. I'm not too sure why that is, but we didn't see them. And then backstage with Adam Pearce. Helps if I scroll down or I'm going to end up repeating the same thing. Jey Uso was wondering how Sammy was because he got attacked by Drew McIntyre backstage. I forgot to write that down. But yeah, so that happened. And then we had Judgment Day. Oh, wait. Sorry. Good thing I'm not on live TV. My goodness. Sammy. Sorry, I need to go to bed. Jay wants Drew, and then Gunther shows up to chat, but just as he's about to say something to Adam Pearce, it cuts to the Judgment Day, Dom and JD McNugget versus the Creed Brothers, and the Creed Brothers won. Again, for a new team, for anybody, I don't care if it's a woman, singles, tag, men's singles, tag, doesn't matter. It can sometimes take a really long time for me to warm up to someone before I'm like, all right, fine. These guys had me from day one. Same thing with like the whole Katana Chance and Jade and Caden. They're just incredible. They're unique. And I just really enjoy the match. And those boots that Rhea got Dom. This was a pretty good match. But yeah. That's that. And then backstage, Seth and Adam. Yeah, Seth and Adam Pearce chat about CM Punk and his contract offer. Of course, Seth Rollins not too happy with CM Punk. And then Jay showed up because Seth Rollins was saying good things about Jay. He's like, I'm going to defend against Jay. He totally deserves it. And then Jay showed up during that conversation really quick and thanked him for showing him respect, but still said that he was going to kick his face off. And Seth said, "That's great, because I'm still going to stomp your face in." And then that's what ended up happening. We had Seth versus Jay, and right there was the coup de grace. That put out Jey Uso, and then Drew McIntyre came out and took them both out. So yeah, there's that. Really nice show. No Randy Orton this week because he's on SmackDown now. No CM Punk, but it still ended up being a good show for me. I enjoyed myself. Again, Wade Barrett's an interesting character for kind of like a heel commentator, because he's nothing like Corey Graves. Now, when I say that, I don't mean from a talent perspective. I mean from a, oh, we really hate to see that happen to Zammy. Well, that's what happens. Then he's all like, maybe, next time he'll watch what he says, whereas Corey Graves would have been like, well, that's what you get for crossing them. Kind of like what he did with Corey Graves, what he said to Rey Mysterio. It goes, hey, man, Santos Escobar's on a path for glory. And you do what you gotta do. And it's not always pretty. That kind of like real heel commentator. Haven't had that in a while, right? So, but it is kind of unique, though, to have that, where you have Wade Barrett. He's kind of heel, but he kind of isn't. I don't know. It's kind of, it is an interesting dynamic, because I'm not really too used to that in the course history of me watching professional wrestling. So... people call it professional wrestling. Who watches amateur wrestling? Like, I mean, like on TV, like week to week, there is, whatever. I need to go back to bed. As always, thumbs up if you liked the video. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm. You didn't like it? It's coming. A thumbs down. We twist it. We snap it off. Right about to break it off in your ass, like your thumb's right up there. This time we're not going to have a Solo Sikoa Samoan spike in the butt. No, we're going to get a Claymore kick right on your wrist, which is going to snap off your own thumb in your ass. That made sense to me, by the way. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, exactly. Naturally, that would be great. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and maybe I'll see some of you in the next one in a 2K23 universe mode, because, those are so exciting. I get like 20 views a video on those. I should be recording one of those tomorrow, I'm hoping. I've just been so swamped with life, my different YouTube channels. It's sometimes hard to keep up. This one holds me accountable every week to cover Raw and SmackDown. I'm trying to have a couple of universe mode videos in between those, and that doesn't always end up happening. But yeah. All right, until next time, bye for now.